Alrighty now. We are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics. I'm your guy, Lawrence Elrod.
And I am Meryl Climo.
We have a very busy show today. So we're going to jump right into it because we got a lot of stuff to cover. I'd like to jump into the hottest thing that's been on the airways all week long. And that's the video for P. Diddy
Yeah.
responding to the video that was leaked by CNN. Um, in case you were on a different planet and you don't know what's going on, um, P. Diddy used to date a woman by the name of Cassie. She's a singer. And they broke up. She ended up suing him uh, for um, for abuse, for sexual, different type of sexual crimes and stuff like that. And it was literally settled within one day. I mean, we're talking about a multi-million dollar lawsuit. So it was kind of interesting. Nobody knew, but whatever. And P. Diddy put out statements through his lawyers saying that he's going to fight this. He's tired of his family being drugged down. None of this happened. Fast forward to the tape that leaked from CNN showing P. Diddy actually beating
Mm-hmm.
ex girlfriend. I mean, it was brutal. And sometimes you see videos to where it's kind of foggy. You can't really make it. I mean, you can clearly see who's beating her up.
Yeah. Him like running out of
And
the room too and like just
with
yeah.
a towel, literally with
Yeah.
a towel. And then probably within a matter of days, he makes a statement about he's sorry and how he was in a dark place and he's gotten help and all this. I'd like to know from you, Merle, what's your take on this situation?
Oh my gosh. I just feel like we're at the tip of the iceberg of what we're going to find out about what he did and to who and what I don't believe that maybe he did at some point like go to get help or go to something. I don't believe that he's a completely changed person and like I feel like he probably has done some really evil things. I'm really glad that the video came out. I feel like it's probably really hard for her and everything. It's probably not easy to like relive this again and again, but I think it helps when there's concrete evidence because I'm sure there's quite a bit of people that were just saying to her like, "Oh, you were just using him for money, or you're just trying to get clout or whatever." And so I feel like when it's indisputable and there's actual video footage, that helps a lot. Um, I just feel like the tip in the way that I mean, I feel like it's a house of cards before like everyone around him kind of gets in trouble too, but I mean, obviously he seems like a terrible human being and probably I assume like took her under his wing promising her like a big career and a big money and fame and like to what extent I don't know that's happened but like the price that it came with it seems pretty horrible.
Mhm.
Like I don't know this. Was she? Do you know? Like, is she a huge? Was she a really big singer or like a Hollywood person? Like, this is the first I'm hearing of her. Like, is this someone that you would know music wise before? Or
Music wise, I mean, unless you're in her genre, you may or may not have heard of her. Obviously, she's not on the same caliber as, let's say, a Taylor Swift or Beyonce, where you know her name.
yeah, yeah.
But the thing is that I guess, and I don't know how true it is, but allegedly, they started dating when she was 17 and he was 35 or 36.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if that's true, but allegedly that's what they're saying. I honestly really was hoping it wasn't true.
Yeah.
But after seeing the video, it was way worse than we could even imagine. I mean, he was literally beating on her like he was fighting another guy. I mean, it was
Yes.
to watch.
Right. And I feel like using an excuse of like I was in a dark place, like that's just inexcusable. Then if you're in a dark place, like you go do something else or like go find a way to do it. I don't know. That's like just not an excuse to act like that. And he looked pure evil for sure.
Yeah, I mean, how bad it was just unbelievable. And some people say that he's not really sorry. He's just sorry that the video came out.
Right. Yes, totally. Absolutely. Because he's had years and years to like I think that's the case where it's like he's sorry he got caught and that now his whole image is shattered, and like I don't think he's truly regretful about hurting someone. And I mean, it also like the power dynamic between the two of them, it seemed like he really had an issue with just like yeah, just true narcissism and like abuse.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of begs the question, because you'll hear some people say, well, money changes you. I totally disagree. To me, money's like alcohol. It lets you be who you really are. What
Yeah.
I mean by that is, if you're a really nice person before you get money, you're gonna be a much nicer person after the money. If you like to donate money or time, you're gonna do more of it if you get more money. Now, on the flip side, if you're an asshole, oh, you're gonna
Yeah.
be a bigger asshole with money, big time, because you're gonna feel
Right.
like nothing can stop you.
And the same with fame too. Like if you're someone that's already going to beat up a woman outside your hotel room and who you've known since she was 17, then like chances are fame and money are going to only amplify that.
Oh, I agree. And the sad part about it that no one's really talking about is if he's that bold to do that out in the hallway where anyone could have walked out and saw it, what's going on behind closed doors?
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, did you, on TikTok, do you follow there's like a woman named Jaguar? Have you heard about this? I forget what her last name is, but it's like Jaguar. So I'll send it to you and then next week we can talk about it. But
Okay.
she is just like whistleblowing left and right about all these people. And according to her, like
Mhm.
Will Smith, Jay-Z, like Usher, like it's a whole big thing. So I mean, who knows? But she seems pretty credible in some of the stuff that has come out, or some of the stuff that she says like seems to be reflected already.
Mhm.
How this person is able to say these things and like be safe and fine, I don't know. But this morning while I was eating my scrambled eggs, I was like watching her videos on YouTube and just being like, oh my gosh. I mean, the stuff that she says sometimes gets to be too much, or I'm like, I can't, I'm getting nauseous. I don't want to hear all this. But it's about like Rihanna and just all these things. But it sounds like Diddy was definitely like at the helm of a lot of it.
Yeah, and the thing is that, even though he can't be prosecuted for what he did to her because it's out of the statute of limitations, but one kind of wonders, because he does have pending litigation with other people trying to sue him. And you kind of wonder if that video is going to be used as evidence there.
Yeah, yeah, I bet. I wonder, I don't know at all, like law wise, if a restraining order can last forever. Or like if you get like could she get a restraining order on him now, I wonder?
I don't know. I mean, I know that because they settle out of court, I'm guessing there's provisions in there for him to stay away from her. I mean, again, I
Mhm.
don't know, but I'm assuming that's probably going to be in there. Um, but I just think the damage is already done. Diddy he's either a billionaire or he's very close to it.
Really? Ew, like take that all away.
So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens to that because, I would imagine a lot of sponsors are gonna probably avoid him like the plague now.
Yes, yes. And like people that have been supporting him and artists like working under him. And yeah, that's going to be weird.
Yeah. Like I said, it's really sad because, you work all your life, you build your brand, you gain wealth and success, and then throw it away to me over foolishness.
I
Like
know.
it was zero reason for her to jump. I don't care what's going on in your relationship. There's no reason for a man to jump on.
Right. And I also think I bet drugs were involved to some extent. And I know drugs also like make people extra, aggressive and amped up. Like they definitely don't help in the situation. And yeah, it's really nuts. But I'm like, who knows what will come out next? But I have to think there's a lot of people out there right now trying to shut down stuff because it's like, I think they don't want to be next or they don't want to be named like in conjunction with him.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we as human beings, we all make mistakes, but
Yeah,
what we witnessed was just pure evil. There's really no
right.
other way to describe it.
Yes, that's like a no across the board, and that's every woman slash person. Like if that happens one time, then that's one time too many. It's just like that's kind of the final time. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think the thing that probably put the icing on the cake, as far as how bad it was, you know, whatever happened in the hotel room, she was leaving. She was trying to get on the
Yeah,
elevator when he attacked her.
I
So
know. I know him coming out of the room like that. It's just like, oh yeah, it's very scary and weird.
and then he literally went back to get her stuff and drag her back into the room. And it's like, and also it goes back to, you know, besides P Diddy, you kind of have to look at the people who's around him, because you see how this person is, and you voluntarily state it. I don't care how well he's paying you. You
Right.
see what kind of monster that you work for.
Who was his like right hand man? No? Did he have beef with Mace, or was Mace like his person?
Well, they were good when Mace was on his label, and then they kind of fell out because they did kind of beef a little bit. Allegedly, from what Mace said, is, you know, P Diddy cheated him out of a lot of money.
Mm,
And I don't know how true it is, but you know, supposedly it was millions of dollars.
I
And
believe that.
that's one of the bad things about the music industry is you got to know what you're doing, because there's so many vultures in that industry, so many of them.
Yeah. And didn't like did he at one point put together a girl group, and like that was a whole TV show? I feel like I forget what their name was, but it was like the making of a girl group kind of thing.
Yeah, I think he had like a couple of them that he did. And what's
Right. It
interesting,
wasn't Cheetah Girls, but I forget who it was.
I don't even think they're still together. I mean, I could be wrong, but
No, I mean if it was, I think they were like TV together for one season and then kind of went the other way.
you know,
I feel bad about. I'm like always. I feel like Aaliyah was such a talented star, and there's a lot of kind of conspiracies about like maybe what happened to her. But you know, I am a conspiracy theorist, so this is what I do when I eat breakfast instead of like getting my day organized. Like I'm like justice for Aaliyah. I'm like I feel like none of this will ever come out, but it seem like the past couple of years, especially like the hip hop and that community is like, whoa, that is just. I feel like there's so much that goes on. I mean, I feel like any music genre, like I'm sure rock and roll and metal is just as crazy, but like just lately it seems like so much with hip hop is just like so so much to, like swept under the rug, you know?
yeah, like I said, I have a feeling that we haven't heard the last of the P Diddy situation.
Yeah, me neither. I definitely think so too. But I wonder how much more we will really hear before it gets like someone somewhere is going to be able to quiet people and pay them off, or you know.
True.
And if I was this girl, if I was Cassie, I would be like, I'm wondering what security she's under right now too, because that has to be very fearful, knowing that you're, you know, probably have a target on your back.
That's true. That is so true.
You know?
So we definitely pray that you know, she stays safe and watches her back, like you said.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. Well, my topic is actually is this a fever dream, or did J Lo and Diddy have like a romance? They were together, right?
Yeah, they were together. In fact, I don't know if you remember or not. They broke up shortly after they had that shooting in New York.
I don't remember even the shooting in New York.
They got into it with some. I want to say P Diddy's people got into it with someone at the club, and allegedly his bodyguard shot someone. Even though a lot of people were saying no, that was P Diddy that did it. And then shortly after that, you know, J Lo and P Diddy broke up. That was like,
Whoa. J Lo needs to just pick a man. Like her next boyfriend needs to just be like a boring accountant in somewhere in Rhode Island or something. I'm like, I don't know about her taste in men, but this is all about now bridging to J Lo. Is that you know, we've talked about her a lot, and I feel like when we first started, I was kind of defending her because people were dragging her for her bad movie. Then I last week or the week before, I undefended her because she's supposedly like really rude, and you know, so now I didn't like it, and now she's back in the news because there's a lot of Ben Affleck split rumors, which we can talk about. But I pulled this article. So I thought this was super funny that like now they're coming out with this headline is Jennifer Lopez in best shape she's ever been amid Ben Affleck split rumors, according to her fitness trainers, which is so hilarious to me that like you know, immediately you could tell her PR team is on it and just trying to spin anything and being like, at least she's in shape. Her marriage is crumbling, but like here's her routine. Or you know, she eats a lot of avocado toast. Um, So yeah, I guess like what do you think about her and Ben, or what do you think about all that?
It's hard to say, especially because you don't know what's happening behind closed doors. I was a little surprised they got back together.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, okay, you know what? Maybe this is the better time. Maybe, they learned some things that they didn't know before. But then to hear that, they're possibly breaking up, I don't know how true it is, but there's a rumor they don't even sleep in the same house anymore.
Oh, really?
Like I said, it's a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. Um, but you kind of wonder, um, because J Lo's what is this, her third? Is this her third marriage? The
I
third,
think so. Mark Anthony, right?
right? That's one.
Uh, Aaron or A Rod? Was she married to A Rod?
A-Rod, I don't know if they were married or not.
Oh, was she married to like Chris, one of her dancers? I don't know.
Yep, she's married to the dancer. That I remember that one. And
Okay, yeah, and then I feel like her and A Rod maybe they just were separated, but they were definitely together for a long time.
maybe they were married. Maybe they were married
Oh
because I
my
don't
gosh, if
remember.
this is like her fourth marriage, that's a lot.
I was right. I thought it was about the third or fourth. So okay. And and again, I don't knock anyone because you never know when love's come knocking at your door. But sometimes, it's okay to kind of sit by yourself and kind of fall in love with yourself first before getting with someone else.
Right.
Because because obviously there's something going on. We'll probably never know what it actually is. But I think that if they're going to break up after the second time, I think that's probably it. They shouldn't go.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like some people might say J Lo loves herself a little bit too much, but I don't know. I also feel like if I was her, I mean, it's crazy to me that Ben Affleck just it's almost like he's playing a role of being like the most unhappy person ever when he's with her. And it's like a human being could not look more sad and like disheveled when he's with her. And then it's like when we see him with Jennifer Garner and other people, he looks like the normal smiley. If I was her, I would just be like, okay, the next red carpet, I don't care if we're breaking up, just like at least pretend that you're happy because
You
I
know
think
what?
that hasn't helped.
I thought I was this. I thought I was the only one that thought that because it's like
No,
even when they got back together, he didn't seem happy, and I'm like, well, maybe it's,
no.
you know,
Yeah, he looks miserable. And it's like ever since they got back together, I feel like they probably always had a little lingering flame for each other and they probably tried it out. And like, yeah, like you said, it might not be that this wasn't like the final time. This was just maybe just to see if there was still something there. Um, but I mean, I definitely think the rumors, I feel like it's when there's smoke, there's fire, and like there must be something going on with all these rumors going on. But what
mm,
I don't like is she was just at a festival, or like a movie event, and the reporters kept on needling her and asking her like point blank, what about your divorce? And to me, that's just like too invasive. And even if you're J Lo, you don't have we don't demand to like hear about your marriage. That's I don't know, just because you're a celebrity that's so like private, but people would say they've made their relationship very public, but like I don't think as fans we have a right or we have to know like exactly if they're on the brink of divorce or not.
I think a lot of times we forget that yes, there are celebrities. There's a lot of people that love them, that follow them, watch their stuff, but we tend to forget that they're human beings as well too.
Yeah, and what do they expect her to say like on the red carpet? Yes, we're actually looking up divorce lawyers right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what on earth would you expect her to say other than I'm not going to talk about it? Or it's kind of putting her in a no-win situation.
And the sad part is because their living is made off of being in the public eye, so they have to put on a smile even if they're crying on the inside.
Yeah. This is such a good lesson in like I feel like J Lo, her romantic life has overtook her talents, and like no one ever wants to talk about her movies or her dancing, or it's always her romantic life. I feel like Taylor Swift has, skirts the line of that a little bit, where it's like so much about her boyfriends and breakups. But it's so good if you're an actress that like it doesn't really come, like someone like Tina Fey or something like that. We don't really know that much about her personal life, or like I think she
Mhm.
has a husband, but like that is such a great place to be in when you're an artist and people aren't like fixated on your boyfriend or girlfriend.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I think it helps too if only one person is well known in the relationship. I
Yeah.
think it helps out a lot. Um, perfect example. A lot of people did not know that Denzel Washington been married over 30 years to the same woman.
Really? See, that's awesome. I love that. Is she, is she in entertainment or no?
Does Let me take that back. She does do some stuff in entertainment, but I want to say she's behind the camera. She's not in front of the camera.
And see, yeah, and I think like he's not someone that is calling the paparazzi to come video him like getting out of his car. And I always
Mhm.
remember that a lot of these shoots are them calling the paparazzi on themselves too. So it's like if J Lo really didn't want the attention, her and Ben could move to rural Kansas or something, like they could move somewhere and not be hounded by it.
Oh yeah. The only thing is you got to be careful too because that same paparazzi that you needed as you were building your career, don't turn your back on them because they help build you to who you are as well. You know?
Yeah, that's true. And to stay relevant, it's like at this part. But I don't know. We'll see. It's just I now I'm back to feeling bad for J Lo because I'm sure she's terrible to a certain extent, but like that she is human like to some extent, and that has to be tough when you're going through that. And like, I mean, I don't know if I feel bad for Ben or not, just because the whole thing seems so confusing. But I think also a lot of people are. I've seen a lot of articles like Ben has come to his senses, or like Ben says that marrying her was a fever dream. And I'm just like, that is not stuff you want to hear about your ex-husband, where it's almost like he's coming to consciousness, now that he's divorcing you. So that has to hurt her feelings on some level, even if it's J-Lo. So
Oh, of course, of course. But like I said, if you're in the entertainment business, you got to have thick skin.
I know. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't want to. I keep my boyfriend hidden. That's why I like that. My boyfriend's a mailman, and I'm just like, that is my dream, is to be on the red carpet and just have like no one know or care about my boyfriend that's a mailman. Like my dream is to just keep on being on movies and things, but have people think it's like so ridiculous that I'm married to a mailman.
There you go.
I love it. Okay,
Well,
sorry, I got carried away.
oh, no problem. Now, I do want to move to my next subject here. Now, on social media, it's been all over social media, and I want to get your take on this. Um, Obviously, bullying has been a big problem in the United States, and it's kind of gotten a
Hmm.
little worse. So, this father got tired of his daughter being bullied at school. So supposedly he went to the school, he tried to talk to the teacher, the principal, nothing was done. So what he did was him and his brothers went over to the bully's house and jumped on the bully's father. Um, Now as a father, I see both sides of it. I could understand you want to protect your child. I can get that, 100%.
Yeah,
I think the way he did it was wrong, and I think
yeah,
borderline stupid. Now, before people jump on me like, well, you're a father, how could you say that? I said, here's the reason why I say that. Now, depending on the person you jumped on, they may have brothers, cousins themselves. And let's say, what if they're people that let's say, I'll just put it bluntly, they're street people and they're kind of a little dangerous. You don't know
yeah,
them. And what if they come back towards you and your brothers? I mean, it could be a very dangerous situation. And I think that there are better ways to handle stuff because, again, violence doesn't end it. A lot of times when a person jumps on someone shoots at someone, then this other person, they come back, they jump on you, they shoot you. And it's this endless circle that's going round and round. And so many innocent people get hurt or even killed in that situation. I think
yes, yes,
I think that I agree something need to be done. Maybe you hire a lawyer. I don't know.
yeah,
Um, I think there's other things. And also, too, people keep forgetting if the school principal can't help you, you can go to the superintendent too. They have boss.
right.
But I just think that it was a very dangerous move. And also, I don't think you're teaching your child the right thing when you do that. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, the fact that if this kid is bullying so badly at school too, chances are he may not have parents that are the most also understanding or empathetic. So like going after the person, I'm not blaming bullying all on the parents of a kid. I think a lot other factors go into it, but like chances are this dad may not even get it if like he has a son that's bullying so bad at school. So I agree with you. Like that's a very good way to get yourself in trouble and to have people retaliate like 10 times harder. To me, same thing as like, I mean, if I had to, even more than hurting someone, I would like go to the local news, or I would like release, I feel like public shame is good and is motivating sometimes in the way of having that happen, where like if the kid put it out on TikTok, or like, that could be better than actually physically hurting someone, is just to like show it to as many people as you can and kind of get as many people on your side as you can.
Mhm.
And like going to the school, and if nothing is happening, then like threatening that you're gonna like, go to the newspaper or go to the news or something like that, could be something good. But I mean, it's funny because sometimes I feel like kids at the playground and stuff. Like I am if a kid like pushes someone or hurts someone, like I don't have children. I'm not the most empathetic towards children, so there is a part of me that's like, yeah, like push the bully down too, or there's a part of me that's like that wants that eye for an eye type of vindication. But when it's like a dad messing with another dad, I don't see that going well, because like you said, if the dad gets really mad, then he could have his friends and his people attack, and that's really like scary and bad. um but that does suck that the school is not doing anything to like help, and maybe now they will, but I can see how frustrated and upset the dad is, the dad of the bullied kid.
Yeah. And
Because
the
like, yeah. Oh, sorry.
sad part about it, Meryl, is that, as far as the school not doing anything about the bullying situation, um, and because I have a child, well, he's no longer a little child, he's grown now, but myself, a lot of times they don't do anything about the bullying until he's out of control. I've seen it personally, which is sad.
Yeah, it is sad, and in this day and age too, I wonder if there's no like parent committee, or like, I don't know. I feel like I'd like put up flyers all over school about that, or I try to get it on video. Like we said, sometimes people need to see stuff to even just
Hmm.
believe it. Um, I don't know, if I was like going to go wild and there was no repercussions, I'd rather almost the dad and some other people like roll up on the actual bully itself and like scare the kid. Not to hurt the kid, but like I wouldn't go after the dad so much as like, I don't know, maybe you just drive by and like pick up the kid after school. It's like, I don't know, but that's
And
my own like fantasy of what happened. Like I always tell my kids, or my friends with kids, that I'm like, I wish I could be the crazy aunt that just goes after your kids' bullies, and like I'm not afraid to like, of course if it's like a 6-year-old, that's one thing, but if there's like a 13 or 14-year-old girl, like sometimes I have the urge to hurt them. So yeah.
yeah, and the other thing too, depending on what state this happened in, that video of you, talking about jumping on this person's father can be used as evidence against you as well too.
Yes, yes, exactly, like harassment, and yeah, 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 for sure. So yeah, I think it's important to take all the steps besides that, and just to like, yeah, like what is it bullying? Is he hurting you? Is he like threatening? Just to kind of air that out.
See, that's the other thing too, is we don't know, because there's all kinds of forms of bullying, like you say. It could be verbal, could be physical, it could be teasing. So again, there's a lot of information that we don't know as well either.
Yeah,
But I do think that he went off the rails a little bit with that one.
me too. I really wish I could teach like a bullying the bullies class. Cause like I feel like if it was me, I never, like, luckily I never got bullied growing up, but I think it was because I took like the offense position already. And like if a bully tried, I was just like, ew, you're so like embarrassing. Like, I don't know, I feel like there's a strategy to bullies, and you almost have to like beat them at their own game a little bit, you know?
Hmm. Well, bullies, they strive on outpowering the person, not always physically, even mentally as well too. And you'll
Yeah,
be surprised how many bullies back down if you stand
a
up to them.
100%. Yeah, 100%. There was this girl, Meredith. She's not watching, but if she is, just know that she got really ugly. But anyway, but she bullied my friend Courtney so badly, and I remember going to a pizza place and like going right up to Meredith and being like, she was holding a pizza menu, and I told her to put the pizza menu down, and if she didn't stop like messing with Courtney, I was gonna punch her in the face. Like, and to this day, that was like in like 1998, and Courtney and I now are still like best friends, and she's always brings up like, remember when you threatened Meredith?
Nice.
And of course, if she like didn't do anything, I would have probably ran away crying. But like, you almost just have to be like a little bit more insane than they are, so it's like,
That's true.
Look at us. I'm sorry I'm condoning violence on today's show, but we're completely off the rails.
Hey, that's what we're here to talk about anything and everything, right?
If anyone ever bullies your son, I'll be there to step in too.
I appreciate that.
Everyone needs like an unhinged friend that's like doesn't really like children. It's helpful.
Well, actually, it won't be as bad. My son's 20 years old, so if someone bullies him at that age,
He can handle it.
Situation.
Exactly. Okay. Oh, this is so good. Okay, this is the total 180, and someone that I talk about like the anti-bully is the lovely Richard Simmons. Who do you know who that is? You know who Richard Simmons is?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good. I want everyone to know. So basically, he's planning a Broadway show where audiences will join in on workout dance numbers. And if that is like, I think my mom and I will be like the first people to buy tickets. Like I have hit the age where sweating to the oldies on Broadway sounds like a really good idea. But basically, fitness pioneer Richard Simmons, who has been known to be very reclusive over the past decade, so much so that there was a really, really good podcast about it, wondering where he went. I think there might have been some like abuse as well of his caretakers not really taking the best care of him. I forget what the name of it is, but the podcast that investigated that was like so well done and one of my favorite podcasts ever. But basically, it's going to be an interactive Broadway show about his life, and then audiences will be able to get up and dance on stage. And I'm like, that is just what we all should be doing. And I feel like Richard Simmons could stop bullying.
Oh, yeah. And you know what's cool about it is they involved him. So he has a say in his story and how they tell it.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
100%. I feel like he was so ahead of his time with just being inclusive of like different body types and just different ages. And him and Mr. Rogers and like a few other people were just ahead of the curve of like, just body inclusivity and liking people no matter what they look like and stuff. So I love him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually, that's going to be pretty nice. I think it's especially to be interactive and having the audience jump in. Plus, it gives the audience the permission to dress normally. You don't have to dress up for that.
Yes, to go in your athletic gear. Yes. I don't know if he's if he goes that way, but I think maybe he could be J-Lo's next husband. She needs like a Richard Simmons, even though he might be better off with Ben Affleck, but yeah. So that's it. We'll keep posted on that because if that goes on sale, I will be first in line, or at least one of the top 100 people in line.
Sweet. Yeah, we would definitely keep an eye on that. I would like to jump into something a little bit funny here.
Yeah.
I just recently found out that there is a portal. And really what it is, it's like a video, two-way video. It's set up in Manhattan, New York. And when you look through, it's actually another one that's in Dublin, Ireland. Mm-hmm. So the idea is to, connect two different worlds together. Well, they had the portal there for some time, and some people were a little bit crazy.
Right.
Give you an idea. Let's see. How tactful can I say this? Some people started exposing themselves. One woman raised up her shirt.
Yeah.
Another guy mooned them.
So really? Now, are these, I know the girl, Ava was the one that did it in New York, but I wonder, is the mooning, was that an Irish person, or have they all been on America's side?
Unfortunately, they've all been on America's
Of course. The Irish are probably just like, what is going on over there? We already know you guys are a bunch of freakazoids. Like, yes.
I mean, it's not a good thing, don't get me wrong, but it would have been nice to hear it was on both sides, but no, it was.
No. And then was it shut down because she was like exposing herself? Oh, and I don't know if you know who this is, but this TikToker girl, Ava, is like very wild and like known for being very like lewd and crude. I was just listening to something about this where they were saying like, don't be so prude, like let people show their whatever, lift it up. But then I was thinking, okay, like once again, if we want things to be equal, then does that mean we want like a man to just go and like flash, like children? And so it's kind of like it has to be good for both of us and all of us. And if we're gonna let like one person lift up their shirt, then that's gonna like that should in theory be okay for everyone to do, which I think most people would agree that's not appropriate, you know? And like, what if there are children and kids there? And, you know, it's just like, I get it. And I also get too if it's like 1 a.m. in New York and like, you know, you're walking back from a club. And I totally understand that. But I just think like you can't be wanting something with one gender and then not have it be okay, you know,
Mhm.
with someone else doing it.
Yeah, the good thing is they did reopen it, but now there's a gate around it, so you can't get up close to it like you did before.
Mm.
And I think they restricted the hours that they'll have it open to. And I think they have security now around it as well.
Whoa. And I mean, that's a funny thing. Like it's harmless. Like it's silly and ridiculous. And I could see being like a young woman and thinking that's funny. Like that's not the worst thing in the world, but I did think about that because I was listening to a podcast where they were like, no, just let her do that. And I'm like, okay, well then we don't want some like weird Irish man flashing us too, you know?
Mhm.
So
Exactly. And you made a great point too. I mean, if it's in a bar or something where it's adults only, okay, that's a little different. That's different.
yeah, yeah.
But when it's out in the middle of the park, yeah, you gotta have to put some restrictions in place because again, like
Right.
you don't really want your kids to see that, you know?
This is like the definition of that saying, like the what this is why we can't have nice things. But I also agree. I also think like at our heart, we are all just like little devilish eighth graders. And you know, like it's funny to do that. And I totally get it. And like mooning is such a funny thing. But but yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Like I wish we could just live in a society where everyone was just cool about it, like on all ends of stuff, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, we'll see if all these new tactics work to
Yeah.
stop it.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, my topic is I don't know if you've heard about this at all, but OpenAI just pulled their Chat GBT voice that sounded like Scarlett Johansson. There was a big controversy that came out. The company paused the use of Sky, insisting that it is not an imitation of Scarlett. Um, and you know she was known for her role in that or the film Her, which a Spike Jones film, I think, but it was all about basically like a man falls in love with his machine and his AI, which I feel like we're not too far away from. Like that seemed very crazy, but I've heard stories from on Reddit about girls saying that they like caught their men having full on relationships with like AI robots. Um,
Wow.
like and I was laughing so hard. This is a side tangent really quick. The other day is that I was reading these posts from girls about how like their guys were chatting with AI, and one girl said, I snuck into my boyfriend's phone and I saw him actually get rejected by Chat GBT. And she said that she was so grossed out that she was like, that gave me the biggest ick of watching him get like rejected by a robot.
Wow.
And I think that's like so funny. Anyway, very that OpenAI said they partnered with independent, well-known, award-winning casting directors to create the voice. So they're saying it's not Scarlett. You know, I listened and it definitely sounds very very familiar. So now they're going to pause the use of Sky while they kind of go back and reconstruct it.
I don't know. I think personally, this is that dangerous slope that everybody was kind of concerned about because when you're in the entertainment, your jokes, your acting, your voice, all that stuff is identity, your identity, who you are as a person,
Yeah,
how you behave. And I heard it too, and it sounds just like her. I
yeah,
mean, it really does sound just like her. And the thing is that even if it's computer generated, if it sounds just like the real artist, I think they have a legitimate beef, a legitimate claim against that because
yeah,
that's property. That's just like, for example, you can't take someone's song and remake that song without paying that artist. Okay,
right.
you will be in court. To me, it's the same thing, because it's intellectual property. If you want to use her voice, then just hire and pay her then, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, and I know like a few months back that was definitely what so much of the strikes like the Actors Guild strike were about too, is some of the studios just wanting actors to like sign one time, and it's basically like, okay, we'll scan your likeness, and then now if you're in one TV show, now we can use you in like 30 different TV shows and movies and commercials, and you only get paid for that one day of work.
Mhm.
And I know they said that this Sky person was a professional actress and not Scarlett, but then it's like, I'm sure that actress isn't getting paid like all the time that it's used. I'm sure she was paid like one day rate, and then who knows what's gonna like happen to her voice, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's different when you do a project and that project is sold over and over again. You're contracted on that project. When
Right.
you're starting to recreate someone's voice or even their image or whatever, you're crossing over to a whole different realm. You know, it's
Yeah.
a whole different realm when you do that.
Good for Scarlett though, because I think she is someone that does have the money and the lawyers and like the kind of clout to be able to stand up to that. But I'm sure I feel like it happens every day with smaller independent artists and retail makers and smaller businesses, and people usually just get trampled over. But I think that's good that she was able to, kind of get it yanked for now.
Yeah. Like I said, I agree with you. Hats off to her because you need to put a stop to this.
Yeah.
Well, I have a fun one here.
Yeah.
I saw a story, and actually, I kind of like this product. Have you ever had Nestle's drumsticks?
Those are the ice cream, right?
Yes, the ice cream
Oh,
cone. They have like the chocolate or chocolate nut or whatever.
yes. Oh, they're so good. Those are definitely elite. Those are like they have a good thick cone too. It's not like
Yes,
a wimpy cone. Yeah. Yeah.
yes. Well, it's interesting, and I didn't even notice, but that really doesn't melt like normal ice cream does.
That is true.
And I really didn't think about it all this time until I saw some stories on it. I'm like, yeah, that is true. Because I guess they call it, it's a, what did they call it? A cream treat or ice cream treat, as
Okay, I
opposed to
don't know that.
how they worded it. But I was like, wow, that's actually pretty cool because, it tastes good to me.
Yeah,
And
it does taste good. It's not too chemically, even though now I'm scared that you're going to tell me that there's some weird chemicals in it or something. I don't know where the story is going.
well, you know what? I don't remember all the ingredients, but I know there was like canola oil and there
Oh
were
no.
natural ingredients to make it firm up where it doesn't melt so
Uh huh.
fast. And actually, that was to me a feel good story because I was waiting for the chemicals and all this, and actually, it's actually a little bit healthier than regular ice cream. You
Really?
know, I said a little bit because there is no
Huh.
such thing as healthy when it comes to ice cream, but I was very surprised. Yeah, so I was like,
But it
okay,
has like sugar, obviously. But like, yeah, yeah, it's almost like a Diet Coke kind of thing where it's like we know it's not healthy, but it might be a little bit healthier than like
mhm.
the other product.
Yeah, but that was actually pretty cool. I think I may pick up some this weekend for the holiday.
It does sound good. That is like a wonderful beach ice cream snack too, or like an outdoor. I feel like that with a sandwich and some chips and some fruit is like, oh yeah, that's so good.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
I saw a really funny TikTok about how a Nestle Crunch would walk, and people were they gave different options. It's like option one, would it roll across, or option two, and it was unanimous that people think if it walked, it would like hop on its cone. I'm like, that is like when I was like laying in bed thinking about how a Nestle Crunch would walk. I'm like, that is the definition of brain rotting. I'm like, like option three was, I think it was like rolling on its side or like slithering, basically.
Hey, I may have to try those all out to see if they work.
Exactly. Yeah, dancing across. I think I don't know. How do you feel? Are you an ice cream household? Like if you guys are eating ice cream, do you to me like I like to go out to get ice cream. I feel like it's very dangerous having ice cream at home because I will just eat like every night I'll have it. But I like if I go to get ice cream, I like to like go and kind of make it a little bit of like a an event.
You know what? We do get ice cream out. We don't have ice cream all the time in the house because theoretically, because it's me and my wife, it should last a long time. But that
Yeah, yeah. Every single night, if I see that my boyfriend has like, I'm like, can I please have some of your chocolate therapy ice cream? Or like he gets Ben and Jerry's chocolate therapy, and I'm like, I just can't because it makes me like it almost gives me like a hangover the next morning.
oh yeah, and you have to put it in a bowl because if you eat out of the container,
Oh
well,
yeah, No, it's done. Yeah, there's no portion control. But I love the idea. I feel like it's a lost art of just like going to ice cream with a friend or with your family. Like that's a cute activity, and I feel like a lot of people don't do it enough. But I feel like in the summer, like going to get ice cream is so fun.
That is true. That is true. Well, it's supposed to be a hot summer, so I think we'll probably be eating a lot of ice cream this summer.
Definitely. And of course, I'm in LA, so of course they have like avocado ice cream, like lavender matcha tea, and I'm like, I just want stupid cookie dough, I don't need vegan. Like every single thing is like vegan, organic strawberry ice cream. So
I don't know. I just like good old fashioned ice cream because I remember in the store we were getting some chips, and then I think my wife picked up a bag of fat free chips or whatever. And this
oh yeah.
he's just another person in the store. He's like, if it don't have sugar, it just ain't worth it.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes like I'm trying to be better about just having like normal good tasting chips but not having so many of them. And same thing with ice cream. It's like you could have them but not like a whole carton full.
I mean, if you're gonna cheat, you wanna have a good cheat.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love the like toppings too. I feel like I need to go to like I like going to places where it's like real hot fudge and real like that's part of the fun too.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, well now I'm hungry. Okay, we're gonna go back to some AI, but this time we once again Bumble is in the news. We gotta love our good old Bumble getting in the news. So this it was a question posed. This is on Forbes, and it said, would you let AI date for you? Bumble's founder think that could be the future. So basically, there might be something on dating apps called like AI concierge service, where it can determine compatibility and go through hundreds of users for you, and then determine who is worth it meeting for you in person. Um, this is a world where your dating concierge could go and date for you with all the other dating concierges. So it's almost like my robot would talk to your robot, and then we would, beep up boop and calculate, and then they would spit out like, here's the
Mhm.
9 people we think you can meet with. Uh, it would scan a whole city for you and say these are the people you would like to meet. Now, my thought is that it's the same as like self-driving cars to me, where in theory this sounds wonderful, but I don't have 100% faith in this type of thing. um and to a certain extent they already do that. Like I almost thought that's what dating apps did, is take in my data and someone else's data and then like match us up.
Mhm.
So I feel like we're doing that to a certain extent on like those, especially the apps where you have to enter in a little bit more, where like an OK Cupid or eHarmony, where you like really have to enter in a lot at the beginning, and then they start matching you towards people. But I don't know. They also said in this article that uh some of the reaction compared to an episode of the hit show Black Mirror, where like where we're all just gonna have like running credit scores and everything.
I don't know. Here's the big problem with that. In theory, it sounds like a good idea, but one thing AI won't be able to to filter out is the BS because unfortunately, there's a lot of people that lie in their profiles.
Yeah,
So
that's
literally,
true.
working on the information that you put in. So if they're putting in BS information to begin with, to me, it's like it's not a real hookup
Yeah,
because you're kind of taking away the human side of it. Because you could talk to someone, look at someone, their body language, whatever. You could kind of figure out pretty quickly if someone is really sincere or if they're just full of shit. You know what I mean?
yes.
I don't think AI is there yet to figure that out.
Right, exactly. And like, yeah, just the general feeling that you get when you look at someone and you kind of determine like, oh, this like looks like someone that would be I'd want in my life or not, or yeah.
Mhm. And then just for clarification, I am a married guy.
He is not on the apps.
I know some people are like, Dolores, how do you know about that? No, I don't know about that. This is what I've seen and what I've heard. Okay, so clarification.
Aren't we happy? I think we said this last time that like how happy we are not to be on the apps right now.
Oh my God,
I
yes.
feel for the people that are, and like of course, every like, but yeah, it seems like a sometimes it gets tiring being on the apps nonstop. I've heard.
You know what? From what I've heard, besides dealing with the obvious, but also too with the scams, and it seems like I think they call them love scams or whatever. It's like on the rise, and it's just so many things you have to deal with. And sometimes you kind of wonder, is like, why not just do it the old-fashioned way? If you're in a
Yeah.
store, you see someone you like, hey, just walk up and say hi. Start the
Yeah.
conversation. You know,
Especially in LA, it's really gotten back to, I see a lot of like singles meetups. My friend just went to one where you could like wear different color wristbands to show how like interested you were in meeting someone. But she said she had to talk to all the boys. Like not all the boys were congregated like in the corner, not talking to any of the girls. And she said she went up to one to say hi, and then he was frozen like a deer. Like he didn't know how to, he couldn't even say anything back. And she was like, "How are you today?" Like,
yeah. Unfortunately, throughout time, a lot of us good guys are the ones that kind of standoffish. We're not the ones that because sometimes the ones that make the most noise are the best ones, to be real with
Oh,
you.
for sure. That's the ones that holler at me. I'm like, ew, why do you have the confidence to do that? It's like the cute normal boys are never the ones that are like screaming from their trucks or just acting a fool or anything. It's always the weirdos that like have way too much confidence. And
Yeah.
I was thinking with this too. I feel like you would agree with me that AI, maybe it will help you match with your partner, but like what we really need help with too is people communicating and like having nice manners and respect towards each other. So AI maybe get you to like meet 9 people that you're attracted to, but then like what's going to happen on date number 3 when you don't know how to like communicate with someone?
Nope, I agree with you 100%. Like I said, no matter how you splice it, even if you use AI to match you, at some point you still have to talk to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, and go through difficult conversations and deal with being like attracted to other people, knowing that there's other options out there. And it's like, yeah, all of this stuff is not going to take away the awkwardness sometimes and the challenges that come with a relationship.
Yes, that is definitely true. Well, I think we're going to finish up with a fun one. Yours, I'll let you go ahead and introduce it.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, yay. Okay, so we have a new golden bachelorette, and it is Joan. So Joan, for people that may forget, she was the one that left early, right? Because was her daughter having a baby or something, or the daughter needed her? Was she the
Yeah,
one that?
it was definitely something with the daughter. And
Yeah,
she was really broke up. She was very emotional because she really didn't want to go, but she knew she had to be there for her child.
yep. So yeah, she was. Yes, it said she quit in week 3 due to a family emergency. Joan Vassos is, let's see, 61 years old. She's from Rockville, Maryland. She's a private school administrator, and she was announced as the first ever lead of the Golden Bachelorette. She has 4 kids and 2 grandkids, and she's looking for love again after losing her husband of 32 years. Now, I thought that Joan was always like the one that got away for who was it Gary or what was his name again?
Yep,
Yeah,
Gary.
Gary. Like, excuse me. I thought that if she stayed, I felt like they would have ended up together because I really thought like I saw a connection with them. Um, but now she's looking for love, and so let's see. It says she loves listening to Elton John, hanging with her dog, and cooking a delicious meal. And I think that's like so cute. And I don't know. I mean, something that I loved. I heard an interview with her, and I think she's very realistic going into this because she has said before that she actually doesn't see herself moving. Like, so pretty much all the men know, honestly, that if they want to be part of her life and get married, they're going to have to make the sacrifice and move to where she is,
Hmm.
which I think is very honest and like good for her for at least knowing at this stage in life, like kind of, her non negotiables. What do you think? Did you like her for the 3 weeks that we saw her?
Yeah, I did. I did. I thought that she was, to me, very compatible with Gary. I thought she would go a lot further if
Yeah.
he picked. Um, but I do understand, when there's a family situation, you got to take care of that. So I totally understand. I think the thing is, a lot of people are a little bit skeptical this time around because of how fast the very first um, Golden Bachelor
Yes. But I think Gary was kind of weird and like weirder than we thought too. So I feel like it's only going to get better from here on out. Like I don't know. They kind of like they made Gary like they put him up on a pedestal to seem like the perfect person. And then between Gary and Teresa, I feel like that's just two weird vibes to me. You know. So
And also, people got to understand too, when you're up in age like that, unfortunately, a lot of people at that age are very set in their ways.
yeah,
You
yeah.
marry or enter into some type of serious relationship, there has to be give and take.
Yes. Yes. And I think like good for her for at least knowing right away and just kind of going into a relationship being like, I'm not going to pretend like we're gonna about to move to New York City or anything. You know, she's saying, this is my life. If you want to join it, you can. I hope they also it's gonna be really interesting to find all the men. I hope there's not men with like wives trying to go on the show. I can see like a bunch of old men just applying for this. I think that's gonna be really interesting. A bunch of like handsome older golden bachelors. I think that's going to be really silly to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the men react versus the women.
I
That's
know.
going to be interesting.
And she's 61. I also wonder what her age range will be. Like if she's going to accept men in their like, 50 to 70, or are we going to see some like 78-year-olds? Like I wonder what the spread is going to be like.
I think they're going to, especially for ratings, they're going to probably have a good mix. You're going to have probably, every rainbow of type of guy in there. You
Yeah. Yep.
probably in the 50s all the way up to the 70s or even 80s, because these days there's some 80-year-olds that look really damn good. It's like,
oh yeah, yes.
you know,
Honestly, when I was a brief time when I was single, I truly was like, I really think I was gonna set my ages to like 27 to like 77. Like, why not? If there's like a fun 76-year-old, why not? Like the same way that, like who knows? But I think this will be cool. And I think they made a great decision picking her. I think there was other fun ones, like Susan was one of my favorites, but I think Susan will do really well on like a Bachelor of Paradise or, like something that's more fun and group
mhm.
oriented. I didn't really like the woman that was saying, was it Teresa that was saying like hush? Or no, that was Kathy that said like shut your mouth or something.
Oh yes, I remember
Or
that.
zip it.
Yeah, like I said,
She
well, at
was
least it
weird.
was lights, right?
Yeah. So I think it'll be really fun to watch and I can't wait. I feel like we'll have to definitely watch it and like report on it. I know you probably do for some of your other shows, but we'll definitely have to slice a little of it here.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm interesting to see, like you, the first round to see what the ranges are going to be, what type,
Yeah.
you know, because I've noticed, like with the Golden Bachelorette, um, I'm sorry, the Golden Bachelor, they had different types of women. What I mean by that is you had your more traditional, kind of laid back, and then you had some that were at the other end of the spectrum, ride motorcycles and do all kinds of crazy.
Yes. Leslie and it was a little bit like more. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was literally all over the board. So I thought that was kind of cool.
I really hope there's not a lot of older men that come on wanting their fame and fortune because that is the biggest ick to me, like a man in his 70s that's looking for like I don't know to go Hollywood.
Unfortunately, there are going to be some none. They're going to try and hide it as much as they,
Yeah.
but I think you'll see it once the camera's in front of them. You'll kind of see, okay, well, this person is, they're sincere. Some people you may look at and go, nah, we know why you really here.
Yeah. Yeah. I also feel like my impression of Joan the couple weeks that we knew her was that she seems like a really kind of like classy and just like elegant woman, and so I think I don't know, I think she's a really good choice. It seemed like she's beautiful and I think she'll be really good. She has like a really good kind of like aura about her, I think.
I agree. I agree. I think it'll be definitely worth watching.
Yeah. Woo! I wonder if Gary's like, "Can I go on it?"
You know what? It would be funny if Gary's on there.
I
It
wonder
really.
if he'll pop in at some point, but she's probably like, "Nope, you lost your chance."
Though you know what? They've never done that, but I think that would be cool if he was on there because that would be a twist
Yeah,
no one would see coming.
I know. And that'd be funny if she like sends him home the first night.
Like, well, we don't need to play games. I know who I want to send home.
Yeah. And of course editing goes on, but like I really felt like they had a connection. I really felt like he really liked her. So I mean, like the whole time after she left, I'm just like, I really feel like Joan was the one, Joan was the one. But yeah, probably not, because I also feel like if she was by now, especially with him ending his marriage, maybe they would like talk about it or, date or whatever. But
That is true. But we will see. It will be fun to watch.
we'll stay tuned.
Well, everyone, we had a lot that we went through on this show, and I
Yes.
you guys watching. And then also, don't forget, if you're in California or in the state that my girl Meryl is performing at, make sure you go see her. Meryl, do you have anything coming up?
Oh, thank you. Yes, next week I have a show in San Diego and Fullerton, which is like in kind of by Disneyland.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Make sure you check her out. And then, Meryl, how can people, follow you on social media?
Thank you so much. I am on Instagram at Meryl Klemo, MERYLKLEMOW. Thank
And I
you.
am Lawrence Elrod. And don't forget to check out my streaming channel, elrodtvnetwork.com. We're going to also have some new episodes of Thirsty Conversations that's going to be airing pretty soon. So make sure you watch that. And then also, I'm going to have a cooking show that'll be coming up shortly as well. So a lot of great things to come. We definitely appreciate your support and always, always have those thirsty conversations. Bye,
Yeah.
everyone.
Bye bye.